Um, so growing up in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
I imagine you had a lot of country music influences down in Texas.
Sure.
Being in a military town,
Mm-hmm.
um, country music tends to have a lot of military overtones or
Some.
some. So I guess my question is, how has military service affected your songwriting?
Um, so I don't know how much that's true about country music before the first Gulf War. You can see a few. I mean, Merle Haggard certainly had, The Fight Inside of Me, and he had the Letter from War or something like that. He had a few military-oriented songs. But I don't think that the overt patriotism really hit until God Bless the USA in the first Gulf War, and then in the real popular post 9/11 stuff. I really think that Toby Keith post 9/11 really pushed a lot of that really pro military stuff. So I don't know how much country music in terms of patriotism shaped my songwriting, but in terms of storytelling, I think that's very much the case. Um, we love good stories, and we love our legends, and we love our history in South Texas. Texans are often more proud of being Texan than they are being American, and to some degree with good reason. There's a lot of heroes. There's a lot of valor in Texas history. But we love stories. We love telling stories and hearing stories. And the songwriters that I grew up listening to, or the country artists that I grew up listening to, it was always very strongly centered around a narrative. You listen to, George Strait was a huge figure, but you listen to like Robert Earl Keen or Lyle Lovett or some of these guys, Guy Clark, and their songs are really just poetry. It's just storytelling. I was also really taken in by Billy Joel and Pink Floyd, but I think that I never set out to write country music. And when people in Provo started calling me a country artist, I really hated it. And I really pushed against it because I didn't think that I was writing country music, and I still don't. I just kind of accepted it and gone with the flow. I would just write what I write, and that's what came out. The songs came out. But they teach you something when you're learning to improvise on your instruments. Especially in jazz. Where you're just making up a solo on the spot. They teach you that you sound like the people you listen to. And I think that that's just true with my songwriting. I wasn't trying to write country music, but some of the Willie Nelson comes out. It's just, that's what's gone in, Those musical ideas have come in. I think that if you listen to some of my songs, you hear the Pink Floyd coming out because that's what was going in. You hear the Billy Joel coming out, that's what was going in. The Queen, there's all these influences, but I don't think it's a conscious effort or conscious decision. I think it's just that's the fuel for the fire.